Welcome to the show, and I'm your host, Kaye Liautaud. I am here at the Museum of Ice Cream today. You know, I received an audition from my agent this week, and I thought, oh, great, I get an audition. It's another opportunity. Only to find out that this audition wasn't for me. It was for my dog, Milo. Check out Milo's audition tape for a pet food commercial. And that was Milo with his audition for his pet food commercial. We're hoping he books. It's just surprising that I get the audition breakdown and I'm like, oh wait, this is for an animal, not a human. So Milo is a Shih Tzu poodle mix, and we received him during the 2020 pandemic. So everybody is in lockdown at this point. I don't think any one of us were happy about that. So having a sweet, loving, and cuddly dog like Milo brought so much joy into our lives. I think it was that bit of happiness that we all were needing. Coming up, I have a certified martial arts instructor, and he is also a former UFC fighter. Luke Cuomo, also known as Master Lukey. And later on during the show, I am going to have Carolina Wang. She is a food artist of the Saint Michel Cafe in Brooklyn, New York. She's going to be sharing a sweet lesson with us today. Coming up on the Kaye Liautaud Show. Please join me in welcoming Ultimate Fighting Champion, martial arts instructor, Luke Cuomo, aka Master Lukey. Welcome.
Okay.
Welcome to
Thank
the
you
show.
so much.
Absolutely. It's
Glad
good
to
to
be
have
here.
you here today. How are you?
Okay. Excellent.
Awesome. So, want to get into some questions. We want to know all about you. I want you to tell me about your journey into the UFC and specifically your training with Matt Serra.
Okay. Yeah, Matt Serra, he's an incredible guy. You know, some people, they're like born fighters. Somebody like Matt, even if he didn't train, he would have been a good fighter. He just has like the natural instinct for it. You know, fought in school and stuff like that. Me, I was more of an artsy kid, into drawing and things like that. So I really appreciated the technical, the learning, and the gamesmanship. When I worked with Matt, it was almost like trying to figure out a puzzle. Whereas he was kind of like that raw physicality and athleticism and determination and toughness. And that kind of wore off on me. There's a saying, I think it's, you're only as good as the toughest guy in your gym. And Matt, he was at one point the world champion, so definitely helped a lot.
And as an artsy kid, what was it about martial arts that made you want to get into fighting?
So when I was, I would say at the height of my artistic development as a teenager, I'd be in class in school drawing. I'd be up until like 2, 3 in the morning drawing and designing, things like that. Because of that, my scholastics dropped. And so my mom, trying to give me some guidance and discipline, focus, all these things that martial arts teaches, she showed me a movie called Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't want to watch it because it was at that point 20 or 30 years old. I'm like, oh, it's not even a new movie, but I watched it and I fell in love. There was no internet back then, so I looked in the yellow pages trying to find a gym. And what I loved about martial arts was it reminded me at that point in my life of all the old cartoons and movies that I saw of heroes. So every day when I went to the gym, I thought of myself as like working towards fighting evil or something. But, you know, because I was a teenager and into all that superhero type stuff, so it's a little bit of a stretch. But meeting all the other students and kind of sharing that journey with them, especially on the mats, because it was something that we shared and something that we all wanted to get good at. So even though we were sparring or going against each other, we were still like helping each other and kind of like flying like dragons around each other in the same direction.
And so what was the specific martial art that you first enrolled in as a child?
Yeah, so Bruce Lee, he started in Kung Fu.
Yeah.
Because he's from China, and that's like the national art of China. And so that's what I looked up in the Yellow Pages. But Bruce Lee actually created his own style, which a lot of people did up until then. He became the most famous one because of his movies. Mm-hmm. But he has a bunch of like phrases that he wrote down, and all his students kind of like put on plaques and up on the wall. One of them was, "Have no way as way." So basically he was saying back then not to limit yourself to one style, but to find from all the styles what resonates with you, what works. And that could be because of your body type, because of your personality, any type of physical attribute, or just the style that you want.
Absolutely. Yeah, I do think that creativity is important. Mm-hmm. But similar to Bruce Lee kind of creating his own style, mm-hmm. I want you to tell me about the Master Luki League of Champions, and right. How does that differ from traditional martial arts belts? Okay.
Yeah, so people, they criticize because, and Bruce Lee saw this too, or went up against this too, is that people are, they get into the dogma of their belief system. Mm-hmm. And so when he was coming up, it was style versus style. Yeah. And then some people say he was the forerunner of the sport as it is now, mixed martial arts. Definitely was the most popular one, but now you see in Ultimate Fighting Championship, there's really no styles. You can have a specialty, but everybody has to know wrestling, everybody has to know boxing, everybody has to know everything. Mm-hmm. So Bruce Lee, he never wanted his art to become a curriculum, and he wanted it to be an individual journey for the student and not to be bound by their teacher's way. So my martial art is a system, but it's more of a guideline to explore and to be able to grow within the martial arts without injury. Because as it stands today, you have the sanctioning body for all mixed martial arts in America is actually underneath the USA Boxing. Okay. And I learned about this in 2008 when I got my national MMA ID card, and I saw it had a watermark for USA Boxing. And I said, I guess they had to go through that path to get sanctioned. Uh-huh. And that's why they wear gloves, but they elbow, they knee, and they kick, and there's no pads there. So what are really the gloves for, if you think about it?
Right.
But so mine is full padding from head to toe. Okay. There's no head contact because even if you wear headgear, the brain can hit the inside of the skull. Ouch. And cause brain injury. Oh, it kind of happened to me. I had a mild one, but I consider myself lucky. So I took out all head contact and I instituted a point scoring system. So instead of trying to finish the other person or injure them, you're trying to score points. And it goes from 1 to 100 instead of the boxing 10-point must system. Okay. So you can get any number from 1 to 100. It doesn't have to be like one fighter gets 100, the other one gets less. It could be 50 to 70, it could be 59 to 69 or whatever.
And do you go by different color belts, or how does that work for the Master Luki League of Champions?
Yeah, so there's the ranking system, and there's the sparring league. And it all falls under Master Luki's League of Champions. The sparring system, which I was just talking about, is not necessary. You can rank up in the league without having to actually fight. As a matter of fact, the first rank is not even martial arts based, it's based in fitness. So you can do an exercise program with sport-specific full body exercises for muscle building, fat burning, hormone release, overall vitality, and you don't even have to learn any fighting techniques.
Really?
But what I did was I took this logo that I was working on back when I was just coming out of the UFC.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, so now I'm kind of transitioning to more of a teaching mode instead of a fighting mode.
Yes.
So how am I going to pass on this knowledge that I learned? And I came up with these different ideas, and the one I finally settled on was animal-based, or what I created was mythical beasts. And there's 10 of them, and each one has a magic crystal that goes into this logo.
I was going to ask about that. I was like, how do you get one of those? Can you show the camera those? Oh.
So there's two. There's the rank that you have achieved, and then there's the rank that you're training for.
Yes.
And they're symbolized by mythical beasts, and they operate on a color gradient, so you could actually choose your own color.
Oh, that's awesome.
On your belt.
Yeah, usually at martial arts, you don't have much of a choice. You know, they have their own ranking system. You have to go from, I think Shotokan is white, yellow, then orange. So that's cool that you get to choose your own colors with the Master Luki League of Champions.
Yeah.
But I do want to touch on the topic of injury, because with many sports, injury is, I think a top concern. Has the fear of getting an injury ever stopped you from trying any complex moves?
Well, I came up before, there was no Master Luki, obviously, when I was coming up. So I have a lot of injuries. As a matter of fact, I broke my neck twice.
Ooh, would that be like one of your worst injuries, you'd say?
Well, it's definitely up there.
Okay.
But this happened before I became a professional fighter. So I learned how to work around injury, work through injury, and part of mixed martial arts as a sport now, you have a lot of people who come in from like physical therapy, from sports physiology.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a concern. I've had to take breaks because I'm a natural athlete. I don't do any type of like performance enhancing drugs that would kind of like enable me to come back from injury very quickly. So I've had to take time off. I've had to do a lot of natural healing protocols, and it's still a worry.
Were there any accomplishments that you made after your injury that you might be most proud of?
Yeah, so the thing about fighting that's actually beneficial, besides the injury, is the actual word fighting. When you think about it, it means that you're not winning, because you have to fight. Literally, the word means that there's something that you have to overcome or fight against. So I've had moments, I've had opportunity to kind of step away from martial arts, maybe take a different career path.
Okay.
And I've thought about it. And then I also think, what about the people who are coming up in this corrupted system? Don't I have a responsibility, now that I see a better way, to promote that and to hopefully take over?
Why do you call it a corrupted system?
A corrupted system is essentially because of the monetary incentive to keep things going as it is now. So you have all the promoters, all the advertisers, There's a whole like industry that just will chew these young fighters up and spit them out.
And, young fighters, I think it comes from childhood, similar to you when you were coming up learning Kung Fu as a kid, being an artsy kid. You teach martial arts. Can you tell the audience where they can learn from Master Lukey and take class?
Absolutely. I'm kind of transitioning to more of an online role in my teaching.
So you're teaching online.
I do have a location on Long Island, but I'm not going to stay there. As a matter of fact, I'm planning on touring and spreading the message of safe sparring and working more as a team. When you think of a league, you can have, like the Detroit Raptors, or, you can have your team where you all train together, but then when Detroit comes up against New York, they're fighting, but they're all still working towards a common goal, which is self-improvement. Not trying to prove that one person's better than the other, but how can we actually find out what in our own separate games, for lack of a better word, it needs improving. So if we spar and you get a higher score than me, maybe you get more takedowns or you do better in the striking. Now I know when I go back to my home base to practice what I need to work on. So you actually help me.
Well, I do enjoy hearing your perspective because it seems to me that your martial arts is also a great way for you to focus on your health. You said that you do natural healing. Through my own research, I read that you partake in a particular type of liquid therapy. Do you care to tell the audience a little bit more about that?
Well, I have a specialty certification as a chef from Dr. David Jubb. He was one of the first scientists in America to use something called phase contrast microscopes, where instead of seeing a slide, which is like a picture of blood, they can actually see, it's still on the slide, but they can see live blood. So they call it live blood cell analysis. And what he did was he took people as they were and then mapped out an entire ingredients list of what happens when people eat. So the program that I follow through him starts with food, and then we do a complete cleanse. So once you learn about this program, which is called Life Food, one word, Life Food, and I'm Life Food certified. So do a 5-day menu. Then we get into the organ cleansing, which starts with the liver. That's at the top of the digestive system. The liver produces bile, which is supposed to combine with your food and then give you optimal digestion and nutrition. So I meet people where they are. They don't have to do anything. But so when I consult with people for their health, I find out where they're at. Sometimes we'll take a recipe that they love and we'll switch out the ingredients to a Life Food certified ingredients list. And then you can get into the cleansing. I'm kind of like further down the line, so the things that I do seems extreme to people who are coming in just from like, maybe they want to lose weight.
There's different ways for people to learn how to take care of their health and partake in certain types of therapy.
Yeah, but we do live in a corrupt system, and without going into too much detail, you could say that you need a self-defense in the supermarket. You need self-defense in your doctor's office. You need self-defense on another level besides just fighting people, but fighting against a system that treats us like numbers. They don't really care like how we feel, how we operate, as long as they get their paycheck or their bottom line gets satisfied.
I agree. And before we wrap up this interview, I do want you to show everyone some cool artwork you've got here, something you want to show the audience.
So I'm writing a full book.
Okay.
It goes through the first 5 mythical beasts, and there's 10 of them. Okay, and they each have a particular, meta. So the first one, like I said, is fitness. There's self-defense. There's putting your moves together in combinations. There's a higher level of the self-defense, so that'd be like the second degree, and then the sparring would be a mixed martial arts black belt.
Okay.
Now, when this is just a kind of like a teaser to bring around to all the gyms in the area as I build this league, but the actual book gets flipped over, and then on the other side is the Master Luke menu, which I am putting together. Like I said, I'm only 2 chapters in. So I did the first chapter for fitness, and people who are interested, they can connect with me on my website, masterluki.com. You can get actually certified. All you have to do is send me in a video of you doing the fitness test, which is actually on the website. It's nothing crazy. It's 3 exercises. They're done for 45 seconds each.
That's great.
Somehow they figured out that 45 seconds is the best time to do a full body exercise for hormone release. And that's really how you get stronger, burn fat, and boost your, all these guys that are like huge bodybuilders, it's from having an approach to work with hormones. So you have a full body exercise, you do it for 45 seconds, and there's 3 sport specific exercises. But they're not exclusive to martial arts. They can be done by anybody, anywhere. You send me in your video, and I'll send you your certificate.
That's awesome. I'm sure people would love to participate. It was amazing having you on the set here today. Thank you so much for coming. But before we go, please just tell everyone where they can find you on social media. Okay.
My tag is @MasterLuki. You could just put hashtag MasterLuki, and it should come up. My YouTube and Instagram are the 2 main ones, but if you just go to masterluki.com, everything's listed there, even my cell phone, because I want to be available for people who have like maybe a health emergency and they don't want to go to the traditional drugs and surgery, and that's how I'm certified. Awesome. But before I go, Kay, I would like to give you a Master Luki slap bracelet.
Oh, thank
Since
you.
You
a
do
slap
practice.
bracelet? I haven't seen that since I was a kid. Wait, how is it gonna? It doesn't hurt, guys. It didn't hurt. Thank you so much, Master Luki, for coming on the Kaye Liautaud Show today. But don't go anywhere yet, because coming up, we have a food artist from right here in Brooklyn. Her name is Carolina Wang, and she's going to show us some sweet lessons in dessert making. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for coming. And welcome to Kaye Finds. Today, I found Carolina Wang. She is a food artist from the Saint Michel Cafe here in Brooklyn, New York. Carolina, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. I want you to tell everyone, how did you get started with the Saint Michel Cafe as a food artist?
Of course. So EAT GOOD NYC is our dessert catering company. We started about 10 years ago. And during COVID, we needed a space for our clients to come in and meet us and talk about their designs. So that's how we found the space for Saint Michel Cafe. And, you know, it was our studio for a little while. And when COVID tapered off, you know, we were like, it's such a waste of space to have such a beautiful space and not have the community be there for it. Mm-hmm. And so we opened it as a cafe. So now it's a little bit of both. It's a bit of a art museum. It's a little bit our showcasing of our coffees, our teas, and our cookies and everything, and a place for all our customers to come in and support us.
What's the best seller at the cafe?
Oh, at the cafe themselves, our drinks are very popular. You know, we have some black sesame, like lattes and everything. But right now, recently, our most popular thing is our four chocolate chip cookie, salted chocolate. It's delicious. I brought you some, so you can try those later, and you can report back. Yes. But for our dessert company and our catering, we're known for our signature 3D cupcakes and everything, and a lot of our over-exaggerated candy art. So yeah, that's just a...
So tell me about some of the celebrity clients that you've worked with, because I know you make cookies and some fondant work out of some very well-known people.
Yes, we have been very lucky to be able to work with a lot of people that we really admire. We've worked with, you know, I mean, I have to start big, I guess. We've worked with Beyonce. We've done stuff for Beyonce. Okay. You know, we've done stuff for Rihanna, for Fenty brand and everything. So a lot of like what we do is work with like people that you love and people that you're passionate about, and it just kind of comes around. So Mariah Carey season's coming. We've done stuff for Mariah. So it's been a really, really, really fun adventure.
And what was Beyonce's reaction like when you gave her one of your desserts, and what did that dessert look like?
I mean, I think it was really hard for me to design for Beyonce, for the woman that has like everything.
Yeah.
So we really wanted to make it as a celebration. If you know what our cupcakes look like, they're all very elaborate and everything. So it was kind of telling a story of Beyonce. So we did a whole set, and it pretty much had different eras of Beyonce on it, and our signature selfie cookie, which is like when we recreate their faces on it. So, you know, we had Single Ladies, we had like Crazy in Love, all of that on there. But her very favorite one, I am told, is on a cupcake. We had made like a baby Tim, her Manolo Tims, and then the Jay-Z Tims, like all on a cupcake. And that was her favorite one.
Oh, cute. So I'm guessing this was like Blue Ivy era,
Yes.
when you had the little baby shoe.
Exactly.
And speaking of shoes, we have a sneaker right here that's made entirely out of
Candy.
candy.
Yes.
And which shoe is that?
Yeah, this is an Air Max 95 from Nike, and we created this for Nike for an Air Max Day event. So we did it with Nordstrom, and we had a whole candy shop full of Nike themed candy, and we essentially created the history of the Nike Air Max out of all candy. So this is one of the pieces that we had celebrating.
Nice. Any other shoe brands that you've designed desserts for?
Yes, we have great partnerships with a lot of them. The good thing about being a dessert brand, you get to work with a lot of cool brands. We work with Puma, we've worked with Adidas, you know, all things. I'm a huge sneakerhead, so obviously it's a good dream to be able to work with all these brands across board and everything, and be treated just as any other artist and not just a person making desserts for your events and stuff. So we've done cool content, we've done all kinds of stuff for them. Yeah.
Nice. And are there any collaborations that you're currently working with?
We just did one that was really cool because I'm a bit of a nerd and I'm from like an 80s baby. So
Okay.
we just did a really fun collaboration for Comic-Con and Rainbow Bright. So that's like an 80s cartoon. I mean, even my partner didn't even know what it was, but I grew up on it. So we got to make like, they sent us some keychains that they were limited edition keychains that their fans could come and get it along as like free treats and everything.
Okay.
So we actually had like a line out the like down the block before we even opened, which was really cool. But yeah, you know, we have a few other events coming up, but you know, it's also hitting the holidays, so hopefully we'll get some rest too.
Well, we all know the holidays. I think one of the most popular desserts would have to be cookies that people like to leave out.
Yeah.
And I see you've got some blank cookies here.
I do. I think we should do some cookies for your show. So I wanted to kind of teach you, and it's something that we could really do together, and it's
Okay.
easy, and I promise you, you'll love it. This is our signature printed cookies. We have some examples here that we have a partnership with Madison Square Garden, so we do a lot of their cookies. So that kind of shows you like the printed image of a cookie. It's completely edible. It's made out of a sugar sheet where we use and we run it through a printer that prints in food color. So everything's edible completely, so you don't even have to peel it. I've seen people peel it off. You don't have to peel it off. You can eat it. So we did some here with your show logo. So
Kaye Liautaud Show.
yes. So here we go. So our medium that we like to use to attach the image to your cookie is fondant. And I know fondant has like a bad rap, but listen, things have been improved for the many years recently. Everybody wants to be a cake artist, so of course they have to improve it. So here's some vanilla fondant. It's very good and can give you a piece. Even if you want to try it, you can just take a little piece. Yeah.
It looks like Play-Doh.
It looks like Play-Doh, and you treat it just like Play-Doh. So,
I didn't eat Play-Doh when I was a kid, so I think this is the closest I'm gonna get.
and this will probably be better. Yeah.
Tastes like sugar.
Yeah, tastes like
That's
sugar.
good.
Tastes like marshmallow. So you're gonna take a little piece here. I don't want to touch it because I want to.
Okay, how much? Is this
A little bit more.
More?
Just get in there. We can
All right,
just.
how about
There we go.
This
That's
much?
perfect. That's
Okay,
perfect.
This much fondant is gonna
Perfect.
be okay.
So we're gonna treat it just like Play-Doh.
Okay.
So we're gonna put it on this paper right here. This is parchment paper. So we'll keep it
Alright.
from sticking. And then that's the roller that you're gonna use. So I would use one hand to hold the paper down here because it might slip, and then you're gonna roll it to about like a 1/4 inch or less thickness. Yeah. If it sticks, just use your hand to lift it and there. Everything. And we want to do it about the size of this circle. We're going to keep it easy for you. We're going to make the size of the circle.
I'm starting to feel like a pro here.
Yes, you do.
Kinda-
Look at this. You're
kinda
natural.
starting to-
You got this. And you can just lift it up. Exactly. That's perfect. I think that's good. So next thing we're going to do is you're going to take this cutter and cut a circle out. Perfect. Yes.
Do I just
And then
peel
you
up
can
the
lift the
sides here?
outside, yeah. You can just lift it out and put it on the side.
Okay.
And there you go, that's your first part. So then we're gonna have the sheet right here. And we have this, and this is really awesome because you don't have to hand cut your circle. You're gonna take this nice little hole puncher here. I'm gonna slide it in right here. They use this for crafting, so we can use this. And then you're gonna line it up and then you're just gonna punch it out. There you go. And just press it, there you go. And then you have a perfect circle. Easy.
Okay.
Perfect.
It's right there in my hands.
Exactly. So now you're gonna take that brush right there with the water. Just gonna take a little bit of that and put some water on that fondant part. Yeah. Exactly. Not too much. Let me just get a little napkin here.
Okay.
We're just gonna take a little bit off of that, like that. That's perfect. You just want a little dampness. And now you're gonna take that little sugar sheet and put it on top. Perfect. Perfect, perfect.
And you pat it down?
You
or-
can give it a nice little pat just to make sure it stays on.
Okay.
And now you're gonna take one of those cookies.
Okay.
Yep. And then you're gonna put that down, and then you're gonna take a little water and put it on that cookie.
On the cookie. Okay.
Yes, this will glue it on. It just creates a little moisture. Exactly. Perfect. And that's good.
Okay.
And now you're gonna take that piece you just made and just put it on top, give it another pat, and you're all done.
And that's it.
And that's it.
Okay.
You made a cookie.
So I got my very own, the Kaye Liautaud Show.
Yes,
cookie,
exactly.
Courtesy of Saint Michel Cafe.
Courtesy of us. And then if you wanna make it real professional, we're gonna take one of those little plastic bags and you're gonna slide it in. And then you can seal it up, and then you're ready to sell cookies.
I just pull this back here. Oh, yes.
Exactly.
It's an adhesive.
Exactly. And you just fold it over. And next time, when I have a huge order of 1,000 cookies, I'm gonna call you to help me.
It's for sale. Awesome. And I don't think packaging would be complete without the
Yes, without Eat Good NYC sticker.
Logo
Yeah.
stickers. So
we're
we're gonna make
tag that up.
official.
Yes. Ta-da!
Eat Good
All
NYC.
done.
It's official.
All
Well,
done.
Carolina, thank you so much for coming on the show today. Please tell everyone where they can follow you and follow the cafe. They could come to Brooklyn and visit.
Yeah. For all your custom dessert needs, you can hit us up on Instagram or TikTok, Eat Good NYC. Our website is www.egnyc.com. And lastly, St. Michel Cafe, come visit us. We're in Bushwick, 462 Irving Avenue. Come visit, have a coffee, and say hi.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming. I'm Kaye Liautaud with the Kaye Liautaud Show, and stay tuned for Kaye's Thoughts.
Oh, good.
And we'll see you.
Yes. Amazing. Awesome.
Welcome to Kaye's Thoughts. And today what I was thinking is something that a wise friend told me. He told me that oftentimes in life, we prepare the road for the person and not the person for the road. And throughout today's episode, when I spoke to Master Lukey and he talks about his journey into martial arts, coming from that artsy kid to a UFC fighter, it made me think about how the road wasn't prepared for him. He had to prepare to take that road by enrolling in martial arts classes, by training and doing the hard work. The same thing with Carolina, with the Saint Michel Bakery here in Brooklyn. Nobody prepared a table of desserts for her. Nobody told them, hey, here are some celebrity faces that you're just gonna draw and we did it for you. She had to prepare for those things, to get the fondant, to get the food coloring, to get the right tools. So if there's something in your life that you wanna do, just know that it's never going to be prepared for you. You have to prepare it yourself. Some people may have it easier where the road is prepared for them. You know, you come downstairs and maybe your partner made you some dinner. You didn't have to prepare anything. The table was prepared for you. All you have is an empty stomach to come and be fed. But
What about feeding others? So what I want you to really think about is how can you prepare yourself for that next level or next expectation that you're trying to reach? I'm Kaye, and that was Kaye's thoughts for the Kaye Liautaud Show. Thank you for tuning in.